6:07. I'm already a little verklempt here. She's back.
Oh, yes.
Lauren is back. Oh,
Wow.
we missed you, Lauren.
Thank you. I missed you guys.
I missed you most.
I think she did.
I'm sure.
There was a few times where her only comment when I would ask her a question would be, "When's Lauren coming back?" I think one of them even made the internet. If I recall.
Yeah, I did put that online. And then my favorite part was Lauren commented under that with a GIF from Super Danny. What was that, Lauren?
You guys are in a crisis. I'm on my way.
Yeah, well, in
It's my
some
favorite
respects.
one.
Now, this was your first big trip, Lauren, back to Chicago since you moved to Northeast Ohio.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
What was the experience like? Because you've moved a lot in your life, but this is your
Yeah.
first time as a grown up with children doing such things.
Yeah, as an adult, and I lived in Chicago the longest in my lifetime.
How many years have you calculated?
11 in the actual city of Chicago.
Yeah.
If I included the suburbs, it's even more than that.
Oh wow.
So yes, we drove back on Friday. The trip was treacherous, just horrendous.
What do you mean by that? You have to qualify that.
Ellis threw up twice.
Oh, my.
He doesn't like car rides, is
No,
what I
he
understand.
doesn't. No, he does not.
And he's how old now? 8 months?
8 months, yeah.
Yeah,
He
and
just
there's
hates
nothing
the car ride.
anyone can do
No, you
about
can't
that.
do anything about it. I cannot hold you in this car. You have to sit in your car seat.
And you can't say, "Oh no, it's okay. We're just in a car."
Yeah, we're all here.
Like he's
We're not going anywhere.
it's
Yeah.
not computing.
No. So I threw up twice. So that was great. He really wanted to sleep and he just wouldn't go to sleep.
Yeah.
And so at one point we're on the side of the highway and Eddie's just walking up and down the side of the highway trying to get him to go to sleep.
Oh.
I know.
Wow.
So we were thankful to get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet you almost cried when
Yes,
you were
and then I
finally
had to
arrived.
take out 2 car seats and clean them. So, but that's okay.
That's always fun. Yeah.
Yes. And then Saturday, all of our families were there. So my parents and my sister that lives in Chicago. And then Eddie's dad and stepmom, 2 sisters. Anybody else? No, that's it. So,
And everybody got
yes,
together.
everybody got
Oh
together.
wow, both sides.
Yeah, we do that often because we're in the same area.
And it goes okay. Everyone gets
Yeah,
along.
yeah, it's
Okay.
fine.
Some families that just sounds like an explosion waiting to happen.
No, yeah, we do it often because
Look at you guys.
my parents have a house out in the suburbs. It's big enough for all of us to be there. So we were all there, and it was great and fine and fun. And Trey was excited. All his people were there. He just couldn't contain himself. And then Eddie had already had plans all that weekend and the days that we were there. I kind of attached myself to his trip. So he was like, "Well, I already have these plans." And I said, "That's fine. I'm not there to see you." So he left on Thursday with his family to go do Father's Day stuff with his 3 siblings and his dad. And as they were leaving, Trey kind of he likes to watch cars drive away. If anyone's leaving, he's going to watch them drive away.
Okay.
And he said to me, "Oh, I'm really sad that they're all leaving." And I was like, "Oh, why are you sad?" And he goes, "Because I liked having them here."
Aww.
And I said, "Daddy or Nana and Papa," which is what he calls them. He said, "Nana and Papa." And then I was like, "Oh, why did we move?"
Aww.
No, yeah.
Because
absolutely.
you're with your for your kids, their grandparents,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
like totally loved, and so it was just hard. It's hard. You know all the reasons you move, but then you go back and you're like, "Wait, why did we move?" And of course, that's a special occasion. We're not all together all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You could go a couple months without, seeing them in person if like schedules don't align or whatever. But it's just, oh, this is sad.
Yeah.
Because most of our people are.
And just for their benefit, there are houses available here in Northeast Ohio.
That's exactly right. My neighbor's moving. Come on over.
There you go.
Now, to what extent did Trey kind of articulate something in your heart that you hadn't like maybe verbalized yet? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
sometimes kids speak things out of the innocence of their hearts that we haven't fully grasped yet.
Yeah, I think that is how I feel. I think it's hard when we lived with my parents for the last year to say, when you're living in a small space with 2 other grown adults that have also, been married, 30 something years, you're all kind of set in your ways. You have your own way you want to live life.
Mhm.
It's hard for everybody. We made it work and we had a great relationship and we still do. It's just, we were like, oh, we're so excited to have our own space, to have our own house, to do our own thing, to have our own schedule and routine. So I wasn't thinking about that when we left. I was just excited to have our own space. And then going back, it's like, but what we lack in our own space, is proximity to our family.
Yes.
So
Yeah, and it's something, if someone hasn't moved out of state,
yeah,
it's difficult to describe that feeling. But I recall going back when Sarah and I first moved to Chicago, we'd go back to Minnesota, and I would grieve
mm-hmm.
because I would notice that life had moved on without us,
Mm-hmm.
and that there was a point at which we couldn't just pack up and go back and everything would be the same.
Right.
Like people had kind of moved on with other relationships,
Mm-hmm.
and you just kind of go, like, you really close a chapter in life.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard. I'm not trying to make this Oprah where you start crying or something, but it's all the feels, and it's hard to describe. Even I remember going back to Moody once I moved here.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I had been at Moody for like 7 years working in Chicago, I was walking up and down the halls like, hey, how you doing? No, hey, oh, it's you. Hey, like, you know, everybody.
Yeah, that's how I was. I was there for 7 years. Mm-hmm.
And then you go back and suddenly, like, some people don't know who you are. And then eventually you go back and you have to remind people you work there and ask for passes and things. It's just like, because no one knows that you exist.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard. If you haven't moved, because a lot of people are born and raised and stay in the same place they've always been. Ron. So it's hard to describe what that feels like.
Yeah, I think it's good. We're doing the right thing for our family. Moving here, we're not, worried. We don't think that we made the wrong decision doing
Right.
that. It's just like, oh, we didn't think about how we'd feel
Mm-hmm.
seeing our family again. Or, yeah, that life's like kind of moved on without us. Obviously, ours has too here.
Of course.
Everything else is the same, but we're not there.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'll never forget when my mother-in-law weeping as it was like the last goodbye. We went to breakfast when we moved away from Minnesota, and then the kids weeping, and I'm driving then after for like the next hour, just thinking, oh no, what
Yeah.
have I done?
Yeah.
And I got on the subway in Chicago for about 6 months, staring out the window at 3:30 in the morning every morning, thinking, oh no, what have I
Yeah.
done? Even though I knew I was firmly in God's will.
Mhm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and then I had one kid, my third, my Sophia, has always had she was the baby when we left. She's always had kind of a longing. I wish I was closer to my grandparents.
Mhm.
And every time you sense that longing, you go, oh no, what have I done? But no, you have to lean on God's providence, because life isn't designed to be easy.
Yeah, and my family, my parents are familiar with that. They moved away from their family.
Yes.
Their siblings, their parents, everyone kind of stayed nearish by. When my family growing up, we're the ones that left. And so my family's, used to it. They're not surprised by it.
Does that help, do you think, that your parents know what that feels like?
I think so.
Was it something you articulated, or you just had this sense around them, like, they get it, this is a weird trip?
Not that they articulated, no.
But they just know,
Mhm.
and that helps. Okay. Well, we're glad you're back and that you're here.
Yes, glad to
Yeah.
be back. It was nice to have a break, though.
So it's not, oh no, what did you do? It's, yay, look what you did.
Yeah, I mean, getting back into a routine is hard, but it'll be fine. After 5 days off, yeah.
Oh yeah, no, that's hard too. Yeah.